This is the hands-on Agentic AI orchestration course. Here's what it covers and why these are the skills to be building right now. Start with the honest version. Agentic AI is extremely powerful, extremely fast, and extremely empowering. It is also extremely destructive when it is used carelessly. Without training, you get a skyrocketing token bill and results you never asked for. And yet you are losing money every day that you do not use it at all. Both of those are true at once. Training is how you take the upside and leave the downside. If you want to know where this is heading, follow the money. Today, Nvidia is worth more than $5 trillion, the most valuable company in the world, and it got there selling the chips that Agentic AI runs on. The layer above the chips is funded just as hard. A single page of course notes tracks 33 companies in the Agentic AI toolchain. Workflow engines, model gateways, vector databases, sandboxes, search tools. Combined, they are valued at more than $300 billion. But capital is not a skill. Every one of those products has to be operated by a human being who knows what they are doing. And that is the actual shortage. AI will not take your job. The peer who masters AI before you or better than you will take your job. This is a race to the top, and the entry fee is hands-on practice. So what changed? Everyone has used conversational AI. You ask, it answers. Agentic AI is more powerful, but it is not as easy because it does not stop at answering. It plans, it chooses tools, it acts, and it checks its own work. And watch how fast the horizon is moving. 2 years ago, an agent did seconds of work for you. Today, in a browser or a terminal, it does hours of work. Next year, agents working across your whole stack in teams for days at a time. The single most useful idea in this course is the line between deterministic and probabilistic. Deterministic does exactly what you asked and nothing more. Probabilistic fills in the blanks and makes its own assumptions. Here is the crisp test. If two good runs produce different output, and both of them are right, the task is probabilistic. If you could write an assertion that the result equals the expected value, it is deterministic, and it should not be an agent at all. Writing a script is probabilistic. Running it is deterministic. Knowing which half of your workflow is which keeps it cheap and keeps it safe. And the course cross-trains you on two tools that come at this from opposite directions. Claude Code is a terminal, session-based harness. Its main tool is Bash, and it is superb at writing and running code. Sim is a visual open-source workspace. You build a workflow on a canvas, and the agent block sits at the center of it. Sim is model-agnostic, and you can run it in the cloud or host the whole thing in-house. Either one replaces the other, and that is the point. In the first week, you will build an agentic workflow visually with the Sim agent. You will have a terminal session perform an agentic task for you. Then you connect the two with MCP and call your Sim workflow from inside Claude Code. So learning both side by side teaches you which parts of agentic AI are essential and which parts are just one vendor's interface. The course goes under the hood too because you cannot orchestrate what you do not understand. Your prompt is broken into tokens. Each token is replaced by an embedding, a long vector of numbers. Those vectors run through a neural network pattern on the human brain, and out of the far end comes a prediction of the next token. Underneath, all of that is arithmetic, matrix multiplication done millions of times in parallel, which is exactly why the chips matter. Then there is the bill. Agentic AI is cheap to date and expensive to marry. Depending on how many tasks you hand it and how much autonomy you give it, one workflow can cost hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So you learn the difference between input tokens, output tokens, and reasoning tokens, and that output usually bills at several times the rate of input. You learn how prompt caching changes that arithmetic, and you meter your own runs from the very first week. Everything you build is assembled from the same short list of parts. The model you select, the context window you fill, the prompt you write, the agents you deploy, the tools you hand them, both the built-in ones and the MCP ones. And skills. Skill is a markdown file that teaches an agent a procedure once, so it never has to be explained again. MCP is the piece moving fastest. A year ago, there were essentially no MCP servers. Today, there are more than 9,000 of them. AI session begins with amnesia every single time. Markdown files are how you cure it. A project file with the ground rules, and a memory file that survives between sessions. You review what is actually loaded with the /context command. Then you set initial conditions and boundary conditions in every prompt. Garbage in, garbage out has never been more literal. And the best prompt writer you have access to is the AI itself. Which brings us to the part almost nobody teaches. How to avoid an agentic AI disaster. Rogue actions taken on your behalf. Hallucinations delivered with total confidence. And slop code that runs and is still wrong. And a bill that only shows up at the end of the month. The defense is a human in the loop, constraint and context in every prompt, and verification checkpoints at several points in the workflow. And when you do want more autonomy, you learn to earn it rather than just switching it on. There are orchestration patterns that work. Plan, research, then execute. Have the AI write your prompt. Have it write your skill file, get it to check its own result, then put it in a self-improvement loop with you still leading. And when a run goes wrong, you read it back. Session logs on one side, the workflow log, and the execution trace on the other, block by block, with the cost attached to everyone. None of this is worth much in isolation, so the course wires it into the tools you already use. Slack, where both a terminal session and a sim workflow can take part in a channel, Gmail and Google Drive, then HubSpot, LinkedIn, and GitHub. Your work product then starts to accumulate. Markdown files, retrieval augmented generation over your own documents, and workflows worth keeping. So you version control all of it on both sides. Then you take it up a level. There are thousands of models and different tasks want different ones, so you work with Hugging Face, OpenRouter, Together.ai, and Liquid.ai, and with specialized tools like Exa. You explore tokenization yourself in Google Colab. You deploy a sandbox for a data science library. And you get into agent-to-agent orchestration, where the thing calling your workflow is not a person at all. Here's how it is taught. Every student is given their own virtual desktop, and every desktop is placed into one shared grid, so the instructors can see all of them at once and step in the moment somebody is stuck. Your teaching assistants and study partners are the agents themselves. There is an assessment at the start, an assessment at the end, and a quiz generator built as a workflow, testing you the whole way through. You see how you trend against the rest of the group. Plenty 90-minute online sessions, 2 a week over 10 weeks, $200 for the course, plus $150 to $600 for your model subscriptions. That is $450 to $800 all in, with payment plans and rolling start dates. The prerequisites are critical thinking, discipline, and a commitment to self-improvement. Non-programmers are welcome because there's no substitute for hours and hours of hands-on practice. That is what turns good agentic AI habits into second nature. SmartNewDeal.com.